massacre. Yeah. Wananchi were really angry.
8 weeks, numerous surgeries and intense physiotherapy sessions later. That is how I would have described Kamukunji Member of Parliament-elect Yusuf Hassan's journey since the 7th of December 2012 to date. But from this room at the Aga Khan Hospital, a resilient Yusuf had me rethink that introduction.
And then you mark it with a marker, and then you cut.
It was a pleasant surprise visiting Yusuf, nothing close to what we expected when we set out to visit him. For this 59-year-old, it has been 8 weeks, several read books, and plenty of music later. It was a different kind of music, though, more than 12 weeks ago on the 7th of December 2012 at Al-Hidayah Mosque in Section 1, Eastleigh. It was a Friday evening, he remembers.
I had visited the constituency. I went to Bama Market, and then I went to Tongare to look at one of the CDF projects that we were carrying out.
It was just after 7:30 p.m. when the explosion occurred.
And I was talking to a group of youngsters when we had this crack and an explosion. I could hear the screaming, people screaming, and at that moment I was still conscious.
6 people died in the attack and over 40 others injured in one of the deadliest terrorist-related attacks in the country in recent times. Today, normal 1 o'clock prayers continue in what remains a tall standing Al-Hidayah Mosque as business continues in the adjacent streets. The Kamukunji MP-elect may not be tall-standing in comparison, but he is certainly headed in that direction, having sustained multiple fractures on both legs and his left hand. Yusuf Hassan, who travelled to South Africa for further treatment, is recovering well. But maybe the most amazing thing outside his quick recovery was how, from his hospital bed, he managed to get re-elected as a Kamukunji Member of Parliament with little campaigning from him, if any, garnering over 44,000 votes against his closest rival, who garnered about 24,000 votes.
I did not expect to be elected with a huge margin that I eventually got. I was quite surprised by the magnanimity, by the kindness and the generosity of the Kamukunji people.
For a man who personally went to present his nomination papers despite his condition and who even tried attending some campaign functions, this father of 5 said he only relied on hope. Hope that whatever he had managed to achieve was enough to garner the trust of his constituents.
Lying around was really very frustrating at this critical time in our history. And also been elected in a by-election only a few months before. I wanted to prove myself, I wanted to be there, I wanted to engage with the people of Kamukunji.
And so he followed happenings through his iPad and relied on the assurance of those around him that he would do well. Sometimes, though, Yusuf admits that he was tempted to drop out of the race, and it was only the assurance of the constituent members who visited him, as well as his campaign team, that urged him on. How did he feel when he finally received the news that he emerged top?
I was excited so much that I couldn't express myself. But at the same time, once the idea had settled in that I was the newly elected Member of Parliament, I also was troubled by the huge burden they have placed in me.
Sababu zile vitu alikuwa ametuahidi ametutendea. Tukiangalia mambo ya mitaro, ametutengezea mitaro, barabara pia anaendelea kuziunda, ndio tumeona tumrudishe tena.
Eastleigh kulikuwa kumeharibika sana, hiyo ya Eastleigh. Na saa hii huku naona barabara zinatengezwa juu ya kazi yake.
You want me there?
His son Dalma Abdi Yusuf has been by his side throughout this ordeal and tells me of a family struggle throughout this process that saw them come out stronger on the other side. Stronger in the conviction that their father must be doing something right if people wanted him to pay for it with his life.
There was a lot of rumors of he was in a worse shape than he was, but in reality of the situation, once we got over the first initial operation, because he was in there for quite a long time, once the doctors had explained that, you know, there are no permanent damages here, he will heal, it will take time, but eventually he will be back to his normal self. I don't think there was any doubt that he should continue and stand for his seat.
And so for this former journalist, who many may remember from the VOK program Dunia Wiki Hii, the immediate agenda once he is released from hospital is the business of Kamukunji residents.
They have energized me, they have inspired me, and as a result of their confidence and their conviction in me, my role now would be to work very, very hard for them, to prove that I'm worthy of the vote that they have given.
A promise his constituents will hold him to. Evelyn Wambui, Citizen Live at 9.